Namaste yogis. I hope you are doing well and practicing yoga. My name is Neeraj Deshwal and I welcome you to Body Mind Alliance. We are 14 days away from International Day of Yoga and we are all excited about it. So to celebrate it, we are doing a 14 days full body mobility challenge. This 14 days full body mobility challenge is designed to improve your overall mobility of the body so that you carry out your day with ease. So be ready for next 14 days. We are going to practice a yoga asana sequence daily. Now these sequences are easy to practice and all levels of practitioner are welcome to do these sequences. Now there are some accessories that you would require to do this challenge. Now the first accessory is a yoga mat. Well, that's not a surprise. You need a yoga mat so that you can comfortably do your posture. Second, you would need a chair. So I'm rightfully assuming that we all have chair at home, so you can use that chair. Now the third accessories, we need a yoga block like this. So if you have this yoga block at home, then it's good. Otherwise, you can use a box, you can use a small stool or whatever which is similar in size of a yoga block. So there's no need to buy this. If you can, then it's good. Otherwise, use any substitute. Now the next accessory that you may need is a yoga belt like this. Now, in case you don't have a yoga belt, you can use a belt that you use regularly, or you can use a cloth or any chunni available at your home. Next accessory is the will to transform yourself, and that's the most important thing. We are going to begin with hip mobility. So why hip joint? Because the movement of hip joint affects the movement of joints like knee and your spine. So that's why we are starting with hip mobility. So it's time to go to the asana lab and let's begin with this 14 days full body mobility challenge.
So before you start the sequence, make sure that you have all the accessories available to you. In this sequence, we are going to use a chair, 2 blocks and a belt. In case you don't have these yoga accessories, you can arrange their substitute. So now let's begin with the sequence. The first asana that we are going to do is Supta Padangushta Asana A. For that, I will require a belt. For Supta Padangushta Asana, you will lie down on the back. Now, next step is you will raise your one leg up. So I'm going to raise my left leg up approximately 90 degrees. So I said approximately because it is not possible for everyone to raise the leg 90 degrees. For some it is 70 degrees or 60 degrees. It depends upon the flexibility of your hip joint. So go as far as possible. Now, before you raise your leg up, what you will do is you will tie the belt around your foot and then raise the leg up. Now, you will hold the belt from two sides. Now, make sure that the toes are coming towards you and heel is moving away from you. Keep the knee joint straight in extension. Don't let it bend. Keep it straight. So you will pull the kneecap up. Now, as you hold the belt, there is a tendency for the shoulders to lift up like this. So make sure you keep the tip of the shoulders down and keep your chest open so that you can breathe easily. This is Supta Padangushta Asana A. So you will hold for 30 seconds, then we will move into Supta Padangushta Asana B. Now we'll take the legs sideways like this. Sideways like this. Now, as you take your leg sideways, what will happen? Your right buttock will tend to lift up. So if I'm going on the left side, the right side tends to lift up. So keep your right buttock firmly on the ground and even your right shoulder and hold into this posture. Toes will come towards you, heel will move away from you. Pull the kneecap up and quads up. And then release. Now, please remember, as I said, 70 degrees leg raise is fine. And if it is too difficult for you to keep your knee extended, you can bend the other leg. Okay? So, you can do it like this. So, this will make it easier for you to stay in this posture. Now, we will do it on the right side. So the same process again, I'll tie the belt around my foot, raise the leg approximately 90 degrees up. If you want, you can bend your left knee, keep the tip of the shoulders back so that you're breathing properly. Hold it for only 20 to 30 seconds. Toes will come towards you, heel will move away from you. Hold, hold. Now let's go to Supta Padam Kushtasana B. Supta Padam Kushtasana B. Hold, 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 and release. So that was Supta Padam Kushtasana A and B. After that, you will just simply sit in Sukhasana, this simple cross leg sitting posture. Now, we are going to do a twist for our spine. Your hip joint is a compound joint, which means that your knee joint, your ankle joint, and your spine will have a role to play when you are working on its mobility. Okay? So we are going to release some tension from the spine so that we have good mobility in our hip joint. Now, for this posture, you will raise your right arm up. Okay. Now, you will start twisting to the left side. You will start twisting to the left side and keep your right thigh, keep your right hand on your left thigh and twist to the left side. And twist to the left side. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds and then come back. Now, one important information that I want to give you with regards to the twisting. So let's say if I'm twisting to the left side, what I need to do is I'll keep my right buttock firmly on the ground so that my twisting is good. Okay, so let's do it on the right side and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm twisting to the right side. So what I'll do is I'll press my left buttock firmly on the ground. Now raising my left arm up, pressing my left buttock firmly on the ground, and then I'll start twisting to the right side. Right side. Hold, 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 and then release. So this will release some tension in your spine, which is usually tense throughout the day because either we are standing and sitting a lot. Okay, so next posture that we are going to do is Adho Mukh Svanasana or downward facing dog. Now for that, I'll use a chair, and if you are already practicing yoga, then you can skip the chair and keep your hand on the mat. Now, for Adho Mukh Svanasana, what you need to do first is keep your hand on the chair like this. Hold the chair. Now, start moving back. Start moving back. Now, when you start feeling stretch around your pelvis, you will stop and now take your pelvis back as much as possible. Keep your knee straight. and pull the kneecap up and quads up and stretch the muscles of your buttock. Now you will stretch your forearm, then upper arm, then side trunk and look at your feet. And look at your feet. This is Adho Mukh Svanasana with the chair. Hold, hold, and release. Adho Mukh Svanasana for beginners can be overwhelming, so you can hold it for just 10 to 15 seconds. Otherwise, hold for 30 to 60 seconds. For beginners, 10 to 15 seconds is fine. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next posture, which is called Uttanasana. Uttanasana. For that, again, we are going to use a chair and stand in front of the chair. First, you will separate your feet hip width apart. Hip width apart. Now, you will slightly bend forward. Now, as you bend forward, make sure that your upper spine is not slouching like this. It's straight. So, keep the tip of the shoulders back and then bend forward. Hold the top of the chair. Now, if this is comfortable to you, then stay here and you can try keeping your hand on the seat of the chair like this. Now, if this feels comfortable, then stay here. Then if you want to try, keep your forearm on the chair like this and hold. So this might be overwhelming for the beginners, but if you are practicing yoga, then you can stay in this posture. Now pull the kneecap up and quads up. So pull the kneecap up and quads up. Hold, hold. Now also stretch your hamstring, back of your thighs and the muscles of your buttock. Hold, hold, and then release. So this was your Uttan Asana. Okay. So 3 ways to do it. Keep your hands on the top of the chair, then on the seat of the chair, then forearm. So whatever is suitable to you. Some people can keep their hands on the floor. It's good for them. You can keep your hands on the floor, but make sure that your back is not slouching. Otherwise, you will be in misalignment. You will be prone to injuries and you will have less space to breathe. Okay. Now let's move on to the next posture. And the next posture is Prasarit Padottan Asana. Now for that, again, we are going to use a chair. So this time, again we will keep it in the front and we will separate the feet. So the gap between your feet is according to your height, but on average it's about 3.5 feet. Okay. So don't spread it too much, otherwise you will be uncomfortable. So see where you are feeling comfortable, then stop. Right? Now for Prasarit Padottan Asana, again you will slightly bend forward, hold the top of the chair, or you can keep your forearm on the chair and hold like this. So pull the kneecap up and quads up. Pull the kneecap up and quads up. Hold, 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 and come back. For this posture, make sure that your outer edges of your toes and heel are in one line and your feet is parallel to each other. It is not like this. Since you will find it easier to bend forward in Prasarit Padottan Asana, you can easily keep your forearm on the seat of the chair. Okay. Now, next posture. Next posture is Trikona Asana. For Trikona Asana, again, we are going to take the support of the chair. So since we are doing this from the perspective of a beginner, that's why we are using chair and yoga accessories a lot. Now, you will keep the chair on one end of the mat. You will separate your feet. Now, make sure that your feet is slightly under the chair. Now, first thing, make sure outer edges of your toes, outer edges of your heel are in one straight line. Then you will turn your foot out. The right foot will turn out. So I'll show you how that happens. So this will turn out. Now, rotate your thighs into out from both the sides. On this foot, this will stay in the original position. Now keep both hands on your waist. Now you will raise your arm up and you will start bending sideways and start to reach out to the top of the chair. So like this. Hold the top of the chair. So make sure your knee is extended. So you will pull the kneecap up and quads up and your chest is open. Take the left hip back. Do not let it turn like this. And keep your chest open. Hold. 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 And release. Again, this can be overwhelming for the absolute beginners. So what you can do is you can just hold for 10 seconds. That's it. 10 seconds is enough. You can gradually progress in Trikonasana. Now separate your feet again. Outer edges of your toes and heel coming in one line. Turn the left foot out. Rotate the thighs into out on both the sides. You will feel some action in your buttock. Now raise your left arm up, go sideways, reach out to the top of the chair, keep your chest open, pull the kneecap up, quads up on both the sides. Keep your chest open. Keep your chest open. Pull the kneecap up and quads up. And release. And release. So that was Trikonasana for you. Now next posture that we are going to do is Veerbhadrasana 2. So no guesses here, we are again using a chair. Now for Veerbhadrasana 2, we are going to keep our foot on the seat of the chair and the toe will point towards that wall. So we'll turn the foot out from the very beginning. So we will keep the foot like this. Take the left foot back. So I'm doing it on the right side. Now you will keep your hand, right hand on the front of the knee like this. Okay. Now rotate the thigh into out on the back leg. And as you do it, this knee will turn in. So you have to resist with your right hand. Do not let the knee to come in. Okay. So rotate the thigh into out on left side and resist with your hand here. Now you will press your sitting bone down, and when your knee and ankle are in one line, you will stop. Raise your arms up. This is Vimanasana. Then turn your head and look at your right hand's middle finger. So this is Veerbhadrasana 2. Keep your chest open and release. Please remember, when you are bending your knee, remember the cue, you are pressing your sitting bone down. This is your sitting bone, it will press towards the floor. So that will keep your knee safe. Let's repeat it on the left side. Left foot on the chair, left hand on the knee. Separate the feet. Now rotate the thigh into out on the right leg. Now I'll press my left sitting bone down and then raise the arm up. Turn to the left side, look at the left hand's middle finger. Keep your chest open. Hold. 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 Release. So that was Veerbhadrasana 2. Now we are going to do Adho Mukh Swanasana again, downward facing dog again. Now for that, you will keep your knees on the floor. Your knee and hip should come in one line. Basically the gap between your knees should be hip width apart. Now keep your hands in front of the knees. Slide your hand in front and then lift the knees up. Keep your heels lifted up. Pull the kneecap up, quads up. Now forearm, upper arm stretch, side turn stretch, and look at your feet and hold in this posture. Don't try to keep your heels down. Keep your heels lifted up. Now keep your knees down. Next, we are going to do Adho Veer Asana. For that, you will keep your knees on the floor, bring your big toe together, and then sit on your heels. There will be a gap between your knees, and this gap should be able to accommodate your trunk when you bend forward. Keep your hands in front of the knees and slide forward and hold in this posture. Extend your side trunk, upper arm and forearm. And then you will come back. So that was Adho Veer Asana. Now we are going to do Paschim Uttan Asana. So it's a seated forward bend. For that, again, we are going to use a belt. Now, before we go in Paschim Uttan Asana, we will first sit in Dandasana. We will first sit in Dandasana. So for Dandasana, make sure your legs are close to each other. You can slightly separate them. You will press your sacrum in front. A flat bone, there is a flat bone here where now this flat bone starts from the point where the arch in the lower back ends. Then there's a flat bone. Then press this in front. Take the tip of the shoulders back, keep your chest open. Now you will hold the belt and you will slightly bend forward, tight around your foot, and you will stay in this position. Paschim Uttan Asana. So toes will come towards you. Press your thighs, knees, calves firmly on the ground. Hold. Hold. And release. So that was Paschim Uttan Asana with the belt. Again, for beginners, this can be overwhelming. So hold for 10-15 seconds initially, then take your practice to 30 seconds and 60 seconds. Now, the next posture that we are going to do is Setu Bandhasana. For that, we are going to lie down on the back. For Setu Bandhasana, first lie down on your back and then draw your feet towards your hip. Your feet can be slightly outer than the hip. Now, tie the belt around your shin bone. Tie the belt around your shin bone, take the tip of the shoulders back.
And then lift your buttocks up. Remember to keep the tip of the shoulders back.
Come back. So remember the instruction, take the tip of the shoulders back, hold the belt tightly.
And then lift your buttocks up.
Release. So you can do this 2 to 3 times and hold for 10 to 20 seconds initially. That was Setu Bandhasana. Now we are going to do Shavasana. This will be our last asana for this sequence. So Shavasana will help you to cool down. So you will stay in this posture for at least 2 to 3 minutes. Now it's time to come back. So you will draw your feet towards your hip. Keep your right hand on your heart, left hand underneath your head. Turn to the left side. Keep your head on your left arm. Then press your right palm on the floor and then lift up. Then you can slowly open your eyes. You can observe silence for few seconds and then end the sequence. So that was hip mobility sequence for you. That's all from this lesson. I'll see you in the next one.